Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm just basically leveling out the mortar here. There needs to be a new line going out here soon. So what I'm doing today, just building the chimney up here in Lurgan. The idea is to get it up to about this height here. So we got to keep bringing the round up. The lead tray has been installed and we're building the support block here inside around the actual flue. So a majority of this chimney is actually abandoned. This is not in use like it used to be, and it's more for aesthetic reasons. Only one of the flues are being used now, and we'll be pulling a flue. If the customer is going to use this, we will probably end up putting a new flue put in for the customer's need. All we're doing is we're putting the lead tray in, we're keeping it square, and there's a brand new flue going to be installed by the client. This is not our work. We'll put a pull-through rope down for the customer when they decide to start the fire and they want to get a flue installed, because we don't know if they're going to go for a stove or just open fire. That's something we can't call. All I'm doing is I'm building the chimney up. All the waterproofing is done and the drip trays are in, and that's very important to maintain. So as you can see, there's a wall tie going in. Bend that girl up for a minute. Now of course, there'll be loads of people who'll say, Alan, but you're doing it wrong. Alright guys, I've told you, I'm not a bricklayer, I'm an electrician. And yeah, I do know how to bricklay, but not to your level. The good news is, I do it. Right, so this here, this is, if you look over in that chimney over there, them little drops of lead. What I'm doing is I'm placing these pieces of lead and I'm overlapping them so that they go into the actual brickwork itself, and they overlap with each other, and they overlap by an inch. And all I do is I just neatly install it there and make sure it's well mortared in. We have to oil the lead as well, so we do. So all I'm doing is I'm just mucking up my bed. Now again, I'm not going to say to you that I know how to do it the way brick boys know how to do it. As I say, I'm not a bricklayer, guys. I am a contractor that has to learn every skill set in order to, when there's a shortage of staff or things go wrong or we need an emergency, I'm there to help out. And I believe I can do it just as well as everybody else. And you have to do it. You know, I'm of a size where I can't just bring people in. I'm going to make sure there's no skidders going in here, because I don't want skidders loading the chimney. And the drip tray is there, but I want to make sure that these skidders inside the chimney are gone. We got a spare bucket, Charlie? I could put this rubbish into. Hi guys, sorry to interrupt you. A lot of you are not subscribed to my channel. You're getting the beauty of watching my videos, but I do need your subscriptions. Please like, subscribe, and always click the alert button. Okay, as you can see with the level, what I've done here, I'm just aligning the level to make sure that the bricks are nice and square and in line. So what I do is I just basically pull my level across and just pull out that it's nice and square. I also check, but there is the problem with this area here, it's got lead, which won't get my bubble correct. Once I go up above and start getting that, I'll start straightening up and making sure she's nice and square. Not just square, but upright, 90 and plumb, yeah. Okay, all right, so keep going. Put my next bed in. Now this is the last bed that requires this work here. So I'm just pulling my bed out. And the idea really is to get a full row in here. And again, you guys will probably all do it differently than I am, and there's going to be thousands of people that'll say, oh no, you're not doing that f***ing right. Well, this is what it is. This is how I do it. So what I'm doing next, I'm just going to start getting ready to fill and build my corners now. making sure that the corners are good. I'm just doing a bit of filling. I see there's a couple of wee holes here and there, not being fussy or anything like, but so I'm just, see there's a couple of mortar snotters that need to be put in. Right, so now I'm doing my corner here again on this side. With the mortar corner, I know that sometimes the way I would do it, see when you put your well, it's a better snotter than that. So when you put your mortar down and you start putting it down, it always seems to go to the corner, but there's always a wee bit missing. So what I always tend to do is get another one and strike it here on the corner here, just to make sure that there's a bit of mortar put on the corner. I couldn't do that left-handed, just to show you on the camera. Because if I did it the other way, which is this way, it gets in the way of the camera. And I have to get my squares right now, make sure that I'm nice and plumb. And of course, what you'll find is that there'll be about 100,000 people can do the better job than me. The answer is absolutely you can. But can you do sparking? Can you do plumbing? Can you do joinery? The good news is I can do most of it myself and do it in a way that is good enough for the job. So, you know, I'm not a precision brick maker or brick worker. I can digger, I can drain, I can do all sorts of that stuff with contracting. Right, so what I'm doing is I'm starting my next course, and as you can see, I'm putting my bubble up against it. If you come this side, you'll see bubble straight, the bubble here. Bubble straight is what I'm doing. Holding it dead against there, I'm just tapping it in to make sure she's nice and bubble straight. That's it there. And then what I have to do is make sure that she's absolutely bubble straight here. If you can see, the bubble needs to go down one side. If you have a look, if you look at the bubble, if I tap that down, the bubble just goes up and that's it. There is a natural curve on this brick because it is a heritage brick. And then what I do is I just make sure she's nice and scraped off, and that would be the finish of that. Let's keep going. So this side here, I'm going to use this nice side. Actually, both sides. It's like a charcoal to it. And all I'm doing is I'm going to put my edge on. This is my edge here for this job here, just nicely in. Got to get it in nice and tight, and then down I go, nice and square. I've been bricklaying not for long. I'm not the best, as I say. I've been bricklaying for about 5-6 years now. My first chimney I done in 2018, and you know, I've done garden walls, I've done just little things like patios and that sort of stuff. And it isn't hard. All you got to do is make sure you keep your levels and your bits square, and that's you. Right, so we're up here, still working the chimney. It goes up. So we've got Charlie, we're training to be a bricklayer. We're actually training him to be a contractor, not just a bricklayer, so he can learn to do everything. We continue to put up this thing. If you want to have a look at the girl so far, it's all good. We're just building the corners up at the minute. That's the whole plan. Right, so I'm just sitting here repairing this, right? And I've just noticed, do you see the two houses in between and the house in just behind the two houses? That's actually my house. So I'm renting that. There's my house as well. One day I will own the whole of Lurgan. One day everyone will rent from me, and that's the way of it. Yeah, well, that's bullshit. That property over there was bought by a chemist, and I believe the chemist now, he sold his chemist to a bigger chemist place. That property there would be a great HMO. I don't know if anyone knows what an HMO is. It's a house of multiple occupancy. I would love to buy that property over there. I have made inquiries about buying it because I think that would be such a great project, and I could get easily 1, 2, 3, 4, probably about 6 residences out of that place, maybe more, with an extension out the back. There's a pretty big space out the back of the property. I'd love to own that, but hey, by the way, if you have a look around, so you know, we have a society where the council keep telling people that you can't burn fires, you can't burn wood, and if you do burn wood, it has to be smokeless. Look at the amount of people who don't actually listen. Go for it. Zoom in on the smoke. Yeah, it's like London in the 1800s. And the way I see it is, good on them. Freedom to burn your own shit. is, to me, the way it should be. To heat your own home, so you don't get to tell them and they get to regulate you then. That's the problem. You're regulated when you're told to burn your own. Anyway, so there it is. Right, I'll go back and, oh my God, Charlie, stop. Yeah, so I'm just continually building up my supporting wall. This is to hold the flue and it's to strengthen it. There's wall ties in here and that's to pull the chimney so it's nice and tight. And that's the whole idea of that. Make sure I don't put cement down the bloody chimney. So that's all I'm doing. So all I'm doing is I'm just tying this down, making sure that the chimney's tied together properly. Oh, we don't particularly want the thing cracking. I'm going to probably put another 3 layer on, let that harden and then come back to it tomorrow because I've got some other work to do up in the depot. I'll probably put in another 30 or 40 brick today and that'll be us. And then we have to move to the next job. So I would see this thing more or less being finalised in the next couple of days and the chimney pot's on and we're signing it off and then we're taking the scaffolding down, which is another job on its own. And sadly we lost 2 staff, which is really going to affect us over the winter. I may keep the scaffolding up until the winter or unless it's a good day. There's tenants in this far building here and every time you smell it, Charlie, I mean we're spraying like an ivy toadweed in this video here. If you have a look at this video, in this video we've got weed being sprayed and killed, the weed that kills houses. But every time we're up on this roof there is a strong smell of real weed and I think it's coming from that dormer there. Turn round, see that roof dormer window, see that one that's coming out of the roof, the white thing there? Yeah, so that's a bedroom above in a roof space. It's probably not authorised, but I have a funny feeling. Yeah, I have a funny feeling they're growing weed in there. Not making any accusations, Mr. Cop, is it? It's funny because the police station's just there. Go ahead. Yeah. So the police station's just there and they're growing weed right in the back step. I think that's, it feels like it's growing, doesn't it? It doesn't feel like it, because every time the wind blows a certain direction, you can smell it. I think it, whatever they're using, because I can smell it up here. You can't smell it down there. Here, guys, there's a real strong pong of weed. You smell it? Do you smell it down here? Every time we're up here, it's like putting us bloody high. Here, I think there's a stash somewhere. I think they're doing a bit of growing in that dormer. So once that's mortared in there, I'm going to then put the lead hammer and beat it down a bit so it's nice and tight to the brick. But in the meantime, I keep it out on a curve until it hardens, and then once the mortar has set, we can beat it down a little stronger and flatten it down. So I come back and shape that all off after we're done. There needs to be a lot of cleaning done as well, sadly. We had a customer complaining of work that we didn't even have anything to do with. So if you have a look at that construction yard at the back, see it there? So the customer was moaning that we were doing the work and we're not doing things to their satisfaction. We're like, it's not even us, as if we had some sort of control over these guys, like it was our fault and all we're doing is fixing bloody chimneys, and yet we're answerable to everyone by the looks of it. And I know, see this, I can imagine, I am just imagining what's going to happen. Oh, you don't know how to lay that brick. Oh, you're not a bricklayer. No, I'm not, leave me alone. But I'm trying my best. So do us a favour and shut off. Oh, you don't know how to lay a brick. Okay, no worries. That is just the way it is. Sorry, I'm not doing it the way you've done it for 30 odd bloody years. But at least I've got the nuts to do it. And that is rule number 6, which is no, winners win. Stop. And that is not winners win. If you learn new skills, you're still winning. Is that better? If you learn your skills, you're still winning. Turkey tea. Fake hair. Lamborghini, 5 o'clock in the morning, ice baths. No, it's not 5 o'clock. Is it 5 in the morning? It's 3 o'clock in the morning, I think. I get up at 3 in the morning with only like 20 minutes sleep. You can't be sued for satire. There's a whole army of people recording or went on and went, oh, it's because you're fat and all. I says, yeah. And I bet you a tenner. That's a comeback from taking the piss out of Mr. Beep and his winners run, the 4X team. who, by the way, we employed one member of staff. Do you remember? You know who you are, Gary. Right, so that's me for at least some of the day. What I've done is I've done a couple extra, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more row. I'm gonna let that harden up, and I'm gonna come back that tomorrow. That's really it. Got to go back and do some more work now elsewhere. So lights out, and I can't walk off because I'm sitting here on the fucking. I'll pretend I'm walking off. Sorry. Is that, no, sorry. Yeah, all right. Yeah, it's all good.